Hello and welcome to TF1, a show where I get to share my passion of motorsport and Formula One specifically with you, the poor listeners who accidentally clicked on the wrong link when scrolling through podcasts this morning. Well, you're here now, so you might just as well spend the time with me and listen to what I have to say about motorsport, Formula One in general, and more often than not, just nonsense and my own skewed opinions. So, quickly, my name is Tinus Ferreira, and I've been an F1 fan ever since I can remember. I watched Schumacher, Häkkinen, I sat through the Alonso years, Vettel and Red Bull, and all of the winning they were doing, and then more recently, of course, the Mercedes period of domination. I've loved F1 for a long time, and I would love to use this platform to connect with all of you, my fellow fans and slightly obsessed individuals. Things we're going to discuss today are going to be around the main discussion points for the 2019 season, quickly talk about what happened during the qualifying round of the 2019 Australian Grand Prix, and then finally just address some housekeeping at the end of the episode, and obviously motivate and slightly beg you guys to keep tuning in and to listen to what I have to say when we get to the race. So, Formula One in 2019. What were the main topics of discussion coming into this new season? So obviously, the main talking point was the major regulation change that all of the manufacturers had to address, where they've decided, and the FIA is the governing board that runs Formula One or that makes the rules, where they've decided to basically change the rules so that cars produce less downforce and therefore make it easier for basically overtaking, which has been sort of a hot topic over the past few years, that and a lot of complaints obviously from fans and from drivers and from bosses and from basically anyone that had a voice were complaining about the fact that people just don't have the opportunity to overtake anymore, and that's the aerodynamic regulations in place are basically leading to this. So what did the FIA do? They decided to seriously restrict the complexity of the front wings of the cars, and then also a few bits and pieces around to basically result in less dirty air. And I'll obviously explain what dirty air is throughout the episode. Basically aerodynamic wake and turbulent air that makes overtaking difficult. It's as simple as that. So, what this has resulted in is basically Mercedes-Benz that has dominated the sport over the last 5 years, and obviously Ferrari that has been Mercedes' biggest challenger over the past few years. They've basically had to go back to the drawing board, and all of the teams now have to come up with new designs that will elevate them to the next level and obviously fulfill their lifelong dreams of becoming world champions. Now, the most interesting portion of this regulation change, now as things have developed, is that Ferrari and Mercedes have decided to take two completely different approaches to designing their car and are now going to pit it head to head against each other to decide it's the engineering equivalent of mine is bigger than yours, basically. So, yeah, that's going to be a really interesting development over the year, obviously, to see how both of these teams approach the development of their cars and to what extent they'll be able to improve their design philosophies. I'm not going to go into the details just because I think if you're not already bored, you'll probably die of boredom. So I'm going to move along swiftly and also then discuss the Ferrari and Mercedes rivalry in general, where it's basically this year, I think it's pretty well known that it's all or nothing for Sebastian Vettel at Ferrari, since he has been one-upped by Lewis Hamilton and his Mercedes team over the last 3 years, and it has been, to be frank, slightly embarrassing. Obviously, Mercedes would like to continue their upward march to success and domination and just all-around excellence. And unfortunately, I'm a self-confessed Hamilton fan, so I do know that I'll probably annoy a lot of you, since I do know that there are many people that do not like Hamilton very much. But sucks to be you. Hamilton has won 5 championships, Vettel has won 4, so come at me. The other hot topic I think that's worth mentioning is obviously that Daniel Ricciardo is now a Renault driver and not a Red Bull driver anymore. And if you've seen the new Formula One documentary on Netflix, you'll understand why this pleases me to no end, because I seriously dislike Christian Horner, and I do very, very much like Cyril Abiteboul, who's just for information purposes, Christian Horner is the Red Bull Racing boss, or team principal, I think is the title, and Cyril Abiteboul is the equivalent at Renault, Ricciardo's new team. And to be honest, Cyril Abiteboul is the new king of shade, because just the way he interacted with Christian Horner after Ricciardo left was just excellent. And I seriously recommend anyone to go and watch this documentary on Netflix. It's really insightful, really dramatic, and just all around really good television. The last thing that I would like to mention, something really we all want to pay attention to and sort of track over the year, is Charles Leclerc, who's a young Monegasque, who's now Vettel's teammate at Ferrari. He's a young up-and-coming Max Verstappen-esque type driver, just without, I don't know, the annoying Verstappen characteristics. So I actually quite like Leclerc, and I think he's going to be a very, very good driver. And to see him stuck up against Vettel is definitely going to be something that we must follow with keen interest. And secretly, deep down, I do hope that Leclerc can actually one-up Vettel, because to be honest, I've never rated Vettel that highly. But again, I challenge any of you to fight me in the comments, because I will come with strong arguments. All right. The next thing that we would like to discuss is the Australian Grand Prix qualifying results for the year. And lo and behold, after quite a subdued and worrying testing, Mercedes-Benz came back and blew everybody out of the water. There's no better way of saying it. Vettel was shook. Leclerc was furious. The new Ferrari boss, Mattia Binotto, was shaking his head in abject disappointment. And nobody, none of us, I don't think anyone basically in the whole Formula One world expected this to happen like this, where Hamilton and Bottas were almost a full second ahead of the field. And to be honest, I really didn't see it coming. And I'm actually still lost for words. And to be frank, Mercedes did beat Ferrari like this last year as well at the Australian Grand Prix. And then obviously we all know how that turned out for the rest of the season, where Ferrari was sort of really the ascending force over the first half, and then Mercedes really had to dig deep and battle back over the second half of the 2018 season. So whether this is going to be the case again, I think we're all going to be along for the ride, and please tune in over the coming few weeks and coming few months as I analyze each and every race and discuss sort of the main talking points and happenings over each of the weekends. So that's it for today. If you have any opinions or thoughts to share with me, please do so on Twitter or Facebook, and I will select the best thoughts and discuss them on the next episode, and obviously come with any of my opinions or rebuttals if you guys argue with me that Vettel is a better driver than Hamilton. Please also subscribe on all of the main podcasting apps or service things. I actually don't know what you would call it, but like a service provider, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spreaker. Basically, if you search TF1, you'll find it somewhere. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll chat to you next time. Bye.